Namas, Namaskar. Ek Onka Sat Go Prasad Sat Go Prasad Ek Onka. Ek Onka Sat Go Prasad Sat Go Prasad Ek Onka. Ek Onka Sat Go Prasad Sat Go Prasad Ek Onka. Ek Onka Sat Go Prasad Sat Go Prasad Ek Onka. Ek Onka Sat Go Prasad Sat Go Prasad Ek Onka. You are welcome. Aizo is Okeremio. Emio. You are welcome to today's broadcast. I'm Guru Kennedy Otupere. I want to do a little broadcast on the topic of today's broadcast is the secret power of kriya yoga. And it goes like this. In each moment, you must ask yourself, am I speaking the truth? Am I just giving my opinion, filtered through my mind and all my prejudiced? Satya requires that you consider both the spoken and unspoken aspect of your words. You know, for those of you that doesn't know the meaning of Satya, Satya means truth in yoga terms. You know, you don't want to mislead through omission. Neither do you have to say everything that's on your mind, especially if it's hurtful. Don't gossip, even if the information you are giving is true, says Grand Soul. Instead, only of the highest use of your words to elevate the listener. When you do so, you elevate yourself in the process. Many spiritual seekers find that spending time in silence help them notice the distinction between opinions and reality. Slowing down your internal chatter can help ground you in satya. Silence is discriminative restraint. Say cope. You are able to examine the root of speech on an inner level, which enables you to better control your gross outward communication. You then establish a way of interacting with words that include both ahimsa and satya, both peacefulness and truthfulness. Ahimsa in yoga terms also is peacefulness. In ahimsa, there is not violence. Not violence. There is no symptom of violence in this yoga path at all. If any man, any woman tell you yoga promotes violence, he or she is a gross liar. There's no violence in this yoga path. The asteya, no stealing. In yoga paths, asteya means not stealing. In this part, there is nothing like stealing. No stealing. Don't 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 steal. The Yogi Sutra says, and all good things will come to you, because asteya is commonly translated to mean refraining from taking anything that is not freely offered. The first thing most people think of are money, clothes, food, and other tangible stuff. But there is more to asteya than what is found on the material plane. There are a lot of things you can't steal. You, you can steal, says Devi. You can steal someone's time. If you are late, you can steal someone's energy. You can steal someone's happiness. You can steal someone else's idea if you represent them as your own. Asteya also calls for a focus on how and what you consume. If you are taking something, you need to consider how to give back the appropriate energy or amount, says friend, because everything is interconnected. Whatsoever you receive is taken from somewhere else. Most people don't stop to consider all the different levels of energy involved in all they are consuming. Energetically and chemically, you create a major imbalance if you take and don't pay back, or to borrow a line from the battles, the love you take as equal to the love you make. To invite Asteya into your life, consider what you truly need and refrain from letting your desires persuade you to take more. Have fair trade by your material, not only in your shopping habit, but also all of your day-to-day interaction. Respect the time and energy of others. Give credit where credit is due, and see if you can help build up the world's kindness reserved by giving more than you take. Brahmakaya, energy moderation. The most talked about interpretation of Brahmakaya is celibacy, but you needed become a monk to be a good yogi. You can just accept a broader interpretation of this yaman. It literally means walking in the way of God, says Harrigan. Is about preventing the dissipation of one's energy through the misuse of the sense. Is personal energy conservation program. When you practice Brahmakaya, you are not letting the sense rule your behavior. You are not urge driven. Anything that causes turbulence in the mind and stirs the emotions might be seen as a violation of Brahmakaya. Overstimulating food, loud music, violent movies, and yes, inappropriate sexual behavior whatsoever disturbs the mind and body disturbs the spiritual life. It's all one energy, says Devi. Ramakaya asks you to consider how you spend it. Look at energy like money in the bank. If you have $100, you don't want to spend it all right away so that you have nothing left. Become a good energy manager. Brahmakaya has real application in the physical practice, says Bell. When you are working with asana, you need to learn to regulate your effort so that you are not pushing and forcing, which drains the life force. She explains, I will not I will put my students in a post and have them consider what they would have to do or stop doing to stay in it for an hour. Almost universally, their face will drop down and they will find that they put energy into things they didn't need to. Asana should be replenishing your energy, not draining it. Experiment with this practice on your mat, then take it into the rest of your life. No matter what's going on, whether it's being delayed for your next appointment, or a long line at the supermarket, or nervously kissing a new love interest, ask yourself, can I let go of my tension and relax into this moment? Notice how the situation doesn't need your stress to resolve itself. And by not giving so much energy to intense moments, by not squandering your life force, you are more at ease and happier in all moments. Aparigraham, no gripping. Aparigraham means no gripping, and it can be a tough self in this consumer culture of ours. But freedom from wanting more and more is just that, freedom. Aparigraham is decision to not hoard or accumulate goods through greed, but rather to develop an attitude of stewardship toward the material. Material. Harrigan says, before you bring anything into your house, ask yourself, do I need this? for my role in life as a parent, as a spiritual seeker, or am I just accumulating stuff out of my own fear and greed? If you don't consider these questions, your possessions can take over. Once you get so much stuff, you have to take care of and defend it. Harrigan says, you start to get attached to it and identify with it. It easily It's easy to start thinking you are your stuff, but the truth is that stuff comes and goes. The idea just let it go. If our homes are filled with old junks that doesn't apply to us anymore, there's no room for new energy to come in. Say bear. That holds true for the no material ideas and attitude you click to as well. If you are hanging on to old beliefs about yourself or your relationship or clicking to a career that no longer fits you, there is no latitude to move in a different direction. To invite a Graham, try a simple practice, acknowledge abundance, and practice gratitude, says Devi. You don't need more and more if you are grateful and freely fulfilled with what you have in the moment. Soccer, purity. Soccer, the first of the niyamas, the active observance. It involves keeping things clean, inside and out. For me, the concept of soccer Soccer means both physical and mental hygiene, says Cope. You want to keep your thoughts uncluttered so you can feel free from afflictive emotions. You keep your body and environment in order to create a sense of calm. A mind trained by meditation has more complexity and orderliness. Physical orderliness can also affect the mind. So get rid of cluster, crump, flaws. Simplify your life. All these are expression of soccer, but don't get too hung up on the idea of literal purity. When you work at purifying the body, you begin to understand that it will never be perfectly clean. Crasso says, Patanjali says, look more deeply at what the body is. The more you clean it, the more you realize that it is an impermanent decaying thing. Soccer helps break up excessive fixation with your body or the bodies of others. When you learn to this identify with the body. The Yoga Sutra suggests you can get in touch with your essence, the part of you that's pure and free from aging, disease, and decay. When you understand your true undying nature, it's easier to stop striving for physical perfection and instead rest in joyful awareness, santosha, contentment in nearly every translation of Yoga Sutra 1142. Santosha is interpreted as the greatest happiness, the underlying joy that cannot be shaken by life's tough moments, like injustice, hardship, bad luck. Contentment is really about accepting life as it is, says Bell. It's not about creating perfection. Life will throw whatever it wants at you, and you ultimately have little control. But welcoming of what you get, you can practice this on the marks. Oh, so I'm going to stop there this evening. I'm going to stop there this evening. Oh, peace. Amen.